A trip, and we'll go back and have a shot for goal. I've seen him kick one goal. The 22.5-minute mark of the second term. Perhaps won't get the distance. Kicks it long. Thumped through by Stewie Bowen. Over the top. Good defence by the Redlegs.
Exactly right. Every time someone tries to punch today, it's virtually going to spin. It's not going to come front and centre, so your crummers need to adjust to surround the contest. Look, some go front and centre, but some run to the back of the pack also.
Ball ace, nice mark for Norwood. First 6 games of the year, he had 30-plus possessions. He was levelled off somewhat, but still, he's been a great performer for Norwood this season. Gallagher did well. Got it to half forward. Carslake stood up, and then the ball was trapped in there. We'll get another ball up. It's going to be a W to start to score for North Adelaide in this quarter. Brett White, Damon White, and Wintle, the scorers thus far in this quarter.
Statisticians love that. Moggy's writing those down right now.
Well, Adams take it to ground. We'll get another ball up. Another ball up. The least accurate side in the SANFL, Norwood, scoring 51% on average of their kicks for goal or goals. They're also the biggest possession-winning side in the competition, and inside half-forward again they go. Coulter hailing the cab. Oh, Campbell went down, a head clash. Might have been Ebert clashed with him. Now Bailey off the right foot. Away, and a minor score. And those two players I mentioned, there's Ebert. And he looks like he's struggling as I think he just raises his head, and Campbell gets one under the chin. Well, that's knockout stuff.
Been in the wars today, Daniel Ebert. He's copped a few round the head.
He's got a couple at the front and one at the back now.
Yep. Matching pair. Patfall. We've seen him kick a couple of totally outstanding goals. Big pack of players. There he is, Daniel Ebert. Going to come off for another spell. Just keep an eye on him, Mark. We'll just go with the play for the moment as Daniel Ebert comes off the ground. And here it is again. Crunch. He's copped it. He probably needs to wear one of those things that Luke Ivans is just placing on his head. A helmet. It's been a tough day for Daniel Ebert, but he's got plenty of courage, this young man.
It's an important last 5 minutes of this quarter. If Norwood can sneak a goal from this foray forward, it's really feel 2 goals might nearly be enough in this last quarter.
Here's Hughes. Tried his best. Nye. Over the ball. Good work by Wise. Right in the pool. Several of those around as Daniel Ebert is checking out what day is it, how's the neck, is it creaking? Glasses off for a closer look. Brett White. This is James, surely a free kick against Darryl Wintle, the two skippers. Brett James right in the centre on a good length at the Adelaide Oval.
Been really good in the conditions today, held his feet, just hasn't panicked under pressure, generally used the ball really well as well.
Number 1 for handballs in the competition, Brett James. This is Vassell as Big Wakeland takes a spell, and a small for a tall mark.
Yes, it is. Good sense, certainly in this weather, isn't it?
Delvin's the man coming on. This is Ivans. Delvins is still on his own as he's come onto the ground. Luke Toyer will be desperate to get it to him. He thought about going to him, but he's covered now. He was on his own for a while. He sold Nitschke, the dummy, but ended up one himself. Taken by Bowen, away to Bailey. Bailey wants to do the donut over to Bowen. The old 1-2, the old 1-2-3. Bailey loads up an old flat punch. Pitbull! He is a player to watch as Andrew Jarman. Or was it touched? The ball was touched. We thought it was a Patful mark. Jars has got nothing to worry about for the second.
You would think Luke Toyer might get a message out of that, the way Andrew Jarman was reacting.
I reckon he might. Nicholas tries to go off the ground. North will be desperate for a behind, and Mark Jeffries is the man to do it.
So North tosses around a few ideas. Look, they need to come up with something here. 7 points doesn't sound a lot, but in the context of the game, it is a comfortable lead.
It seems ridiculous, doesn't it? I try and spread the ball quickly, and in the end, the ball out of bounds in front of Daniel Wise, and James Gallagher comes over. I like James Gallagher, I think, having a bit of a word. But it would be a very frustrating day out there. You'd be cold at times, you'd be freezing at others. I don't think it would get any better than that. Directing the ball down if you're a ruckman would be difficult as well. Nye, I think it is, in the middle of a sandwich involving a couple of Norwood players. We'll get another ball up. Bailey's off the pack forward of the play for Norwood if they can get it to him. They work it in tight and just belt it long. Patfull in good position. Couldn't bring it to ground. Off the ground he goes. Rolls through for the minor score. 8 points the margin. Close to three-quarter time. Won't be much more time on, you'd think.
So look at this. Here's Gavin Hughes. Oh, geez, that's a throw in my textbooks. But anyway, look, the umpire played one. Look, Joel Patfull's been important because not only has he competed in the air, he's also been on the ground. He's also competed really well and has really offered Norwood a target that's been sadly lacking for North Adelaide.
Well, I think he's benefited from playing in defence for half a year. Here's Stephen Gillam, who just lost the handle for a second. Finally got it away. This is Kellett, who kicks to a big contest. Rove brilliantly by Wintle. He's a star. Over towards White, who couldn't bend. It was too quick for him. Taken by Neil. To Sandra, his kick was smothered. Good work by Brett White. Pound for pound, he'll give you everything. Young Delvins couldn't take the mark. Lack of experience. Plenty of experience with James. Ball booted off the ground. Nitschke on the bottom of that lot. Nick Gill over him. And the umpire says, I will ball it up. Have a look at the smother. That is commitment. There goes Brett White. There's Luke Nitschke. A lot of players around this ball. North Adelaide would love another goal. Carslake just slapped it on the boot. Only as far as Coulter. Coulter kicks it inside 50. Whites! That is a classic piece of running football by Josh Coulter. As the siren sounds, and he can square it up at three-quarter time with an accurate kick. He won't quite square it up. What's the difference? Can anyone tell me? 8 points. He won't square it up. But he'll get him pretty close.
But a goal's worth 8 points today, I reckon.
I'll try and keep score here, but I'm not doing a wonderful job of it at the moment. But here's Damon White, back to the real stuff. This will test him. We know he can kick a long, long way, but he's going to have to clear everything here. This kick to bring it back to a 2-point ball game. Damon White from 40. It's a good-looking kick. It's just away to the left. Oh, jars, it hurts. That one, he knows full well that a goal there would have made life very interesting. So it's a 7-point ball game here at the Adelaide Oval. Norwood 4-9-33 lead North Adelaide 3-8-26.
Was there more an important kick in North Adelaide's season this year than that one from Damon White? Get them within 2 points at three-quarter time. They're right in the contest. Norwood have really opened up this margin. He's going to look at the goal kickers. Patfull has been really good up forward with 2. Bailey and Neil with 1 each. And for the Roosters, both Whites have 1 each, and Nye with one in the second quarter.
And through the statistics, and the centre breaks still dominated by North Adelaide, will be important as we go into that final quarter.
Generally not in the conditions, mainly because you can't get anything clean out of there. We saw last week in our game, Central Districts were really clean out of the middle, and Daniel Schell had a field day up forward because of that. Generally, their scrub kicks out. Look, it's important, but not as important on dry days.
The first one of the quarter is what I'm talking about.
Yes, it will be.
Dry ball, bang,
exactly.
straight away.
Oh, look, the first 5 minutes is critical.
And just have a look at Andrew Jarman, the North Adelaide coach, still in the box, still considering his options in the final quarter, and as we've talked about, it'll be important to get a good start in the final quarter, trailing as North Adelaide does in these difficult conditions. Well, of course, we've got an earlier match this afternoon because of the National Netball League Grand Final. That's coming up from 4:30. Last season, it was the Swifts winning by just 1 goal over the Phoenix. Those same two sides will go head-to-head again this afternoon, and looking forward to a close encounter, that's for sure. And joining us is Steve Rabilliard. And Steve, I guess the Thunderbirds are out of it, so disappointment for Adelaide, but the big question is, can the Swifts do it again?
Yeah, back-to-back or back to Sydney empty-handed. It's going to be one of those two for the Swifts, Neil, but it's a little bit hard to answer that question than it is to ask it. The form has been a bit hard to track. Sydney back to their best when they beat Adelaide 10 days ago, but Phoenix, since round 8, unbeaten. They're looking a very good side. With me is Monica Lam, and I think you're over the fact that the T-Birds haven't made the grand final, only just. What's going to happen this afternoon?
I am just over that fact, but I think the Sydney Swifts will take out today's grand final. I'm touting them as the favourites as such because they have so much strength in their defensive and attack. And when you look at Catherine Cox's performance throughout the year, she will be the main focus for the Swifts.
Ellison, Broadbent, McMahon and Southby Halbish, a lot of focus on that end of the court too, but maybe the mid-court holds the key today.
Certainly, in particular, I would suggest Sarah Barrett, the link in the middle for the Swifts, feeding off to Vanessa Ware. She's really had such a great end of the season, young Vanessa, and I really do believe Sydney Swifts can pull it off 2 years in a row.
Two very young players out there today in Vanessa Ware and Joanna Curran. What a standout and what a revelation she's been as a defender for Phoenix.
And so young, 19 years of age, and really working in very well with Chatfield. And if those two young players can turn it around, yeah, Phoenix perhaps, but still for me, Steve, Swifts by 2.
Well, I'm going to go for Phoenix, but we hope you can join us a little later this afternoon. Should be a great grand final.
Thanks to Steve Rabilliard and Monica Lam there. Just a reminder that following the footy at 4:30, Melbourne Phoenix against Sydney Swifts. The Swifts by 1 goal in last year's grand final. Who knows? Home court advantage might be enough for the Phoenix to get across the line. Well, we mentioned that the Thunderbirds are, of course, out of the competition after losing in the preliminary final. Natalie Avellino, one of the players who played last week when the Thunderbirds were swamped. That's an interesting word this afternoon, isn't it, Natalie? But they were swamped by the Swifts after a week. Do you know what went wrong?
Oh, look, it's just disappointing. Just whole court, attack-wise, we couldn't get the ball down the court. We couldn't get it into our shooters. And defensively, from our attack down to our defence, we were just off the pace. So each individual player was beaten, and that was our goal, to beat their opposition, and it just didn't work for us this time round.
And late in the season, an injury for yourself. You're in the Australian squad. You did an ankle. And we're actually looking at that right now. Fairly uncomfortable you were at the time, shall we say that. How is it now?
Yeah, look, it's recovered really well. Just disappointing with the time of the season that it happened. And leading to final series, you don't really want too many injuries. So that limited my court time towards the final series, and hence not getting too much court time in the finals.
And for you, looking ahead, I guess the Commonwealth Games are a big part of what will be the future for you.
Yeah, that's right. The squad is announced tomorrow morning, so fingers crossed for that. And then we've got a tour to New Zealand and Jamaica in November. And then the 15 for the Commonwealth Games are announced in the middle of December. So it's going to be a big 8 months ahead, but something I've been given an opportunity to have another go at. So it'll be my first Commonwealth Games if I can get there.
And in terms of the grand final this afternoon, have you picked a winner, or don't you care?
Yeah, look, I think Phoenix have been a class team, probably the second round of the season. I think they'll probably win by about 8 to 10 goals. Even though the Swifts had a good win against us last week, I think they've just been a bit erratic in the last few weeks. So I think the Phoenix are quite classy and will have a good win today.
And you mentioned big 8 months for yourself. Obviously, the Swifts and the Phoenix, a lot of Australian players in there, and you would be hoping to make that Australian team for the Commonwealth Games. But what's your future in the National Netball League? A couple of years ago, a lot of problems with trying to get to play for the Thunderbirds. Now you're playing for them. Are you going to play next season?
I haven't really decided what I'll be doing. Now my goal is Commonwealth Games. So what happens with the Thunderbirds, I'm not sure. But if I don't make Commonwealth Games, I don't see that I'll be back playing netball again next year. So hopefully I do, and then I'll reassess what I'll do closer to the season next year. So it might be a tough call for the coaches to be in, but that's a decision that I just have to make at my late stage of my career.
Oh, I thought you were going to say late stage in life. No, plenty of life in those legs. Good luck with making the Australian side, and thanks for joining us on a a pretty cold and wet day.
Yeah, thanks, Neil. I'm glad I played indoor sport, that's for sure.
For sure. Natalie Avellino. Now across to Sodas, and what's the news from the Huddles, Sodas?
Well, Norwood's still holding sway, and Jar's spent a lot of time in the coach's box just plotting this final term, and his theme during his three-quarter time speech was discipline. Here's what he had to say.
Come on, you got 25 minutes to just keep working at the ball and pushing it forward at all costs.
Short and sharp from Andrew Jarman, underway in the final term. And it is Norwood by a couple of points. Hughes tries to get the handball. Free kick will come back. It'll go to Campbell. This is Bryce Campbell. 7-point difference in favour of Norwood. That's a terrible kick. Just went to 15, but spotted up Darryl Wintle. Wintle looks for Brett White. The racehorse is Gallagher. Got the handball away to James. Quickly on the boot. Barnamucci in some space at half-forward. Bacon goal square. He may go for it. Long. Patfull could shepherd it through. Did he take the mark? He couldn't take the mark. But an early score to the Redlegs. And I suppose Joel Patfull had a decision to make. Do I mark or do I try and shepherd through for a goal? He must have been going through from behind.
I think he must have been going through from behind. But look, the first 10 minutes is critical with a drier footy.
All Norwood under this ball. Ball ace slides in, wants to go short. Good dummy from 40 metres. Bangs long again. And Patfull comes to the front. Only man standing up, Kellett. Breaks away. Again, won't bounce the ball. Goes for distance with the drop punt. Sliding towards the line. And it finally makes it across the line. As Hughes there trying to pick it up for Norwood.
Top ball getters in the first three quarters for Norwood. Scott Borlace and Stephen Bailey each had 20, and Brett James 18. For North, Darryl Wintle 24, Luke Ivans 16, Sean Gatto 15.
Gill lost his mouth guard as he tapped it down to Ivans. And now Nye goes short. Wise, as you can see, slips out of his hand as he slides across that turf.
We like the move of Nick Gill into the ruck for North. Just gives some added mobility around the ground. Generally, your lumbering ruckman, not much value today. So Nick Gill into the ruck, really good move by Andrew Jarman.
Gatto, ball trap, pulls it back in. Now he's in trouble, pulled off the ball. At the back, Bailey will come into Wintle, tackles, and Wintle looking up, looking for a free kick. Back off the play, he's been given a free kick. Gatto slow to his feet, hurt his knee in that last collision, and is struggling, limping away as we wait for Wintle to make a decision. He's not a long way away from the mark. Gets the ball up, Gill. Got up and tried to take the chest mark. Ball fell to Wise. Now Krieg. Coulter wants to share it and just couldn't get a handle on it. Ball ace was clever. Bassett gave it up. Gatto, who was on his way off the ground. Just a short kick. And Clements with the mark and taking his time as he backs away from yet another puddle.
Clements boots, but Coulter is there. The target was Nicholas. Important game this for North Adelaide. They need to win to get a double chance. Long spiral by Coulter. Up they fly. Over the back, who can crumb it? Zorzi was there. Nitschke had it pickpocketed. Campbell, who is a last quarter specialist. He booted 3 last week in the last term. Can't get a clear break.
Just a spiral by Josh Coulter, just cleared all the back players for Norwood, all the back playing players, and turned them around facing the wrong way. It's important if you can carry the footy, but also kick over the top of the back playing players. It gets into space.
Just the halftime scores at other grounds, remembering because of the netball, we're a little bit earlier than those games. Eagles by 37 over South Adelaide. Central by 10 over Glenelg. Sturt by 19 over West Adelaide.
Free kick has been plucked out, and it has gone against Norwood. It'll go to Darryl Wintle, and he will shoot a goal from 25 metres out, directly in front. Another interchange is Bailey. That's interesting to see Bailey coming off their mark.
Yeah, Ed Lower getting another chance to go on, and Bailey doesn't seem to be injured at all, so maybe it's just coming off as part of the rotation.
This is by no means over the line.
Darryl Wintle kicks and hits the woodwork. Got the distance okay. Fairly low trajectory kick. But it is back to 7 points the difference.
Once again, this ball is starting to get heavier already. Going to be very hard to kick goals. Going to need some luck, but also going to play percentages. It's going to win this game.
Or Norwood taking some chances with their percentages at the moment. Gill comes in. They have the numbers. North Adelaide. Gatho was taken late. Now Jeffries just squares it up. And umpire paid that mark. Nicholas will take it.
That was a mini-league mark.
20 metres out from goal. Ruckman, just a hand pass off. The experience of Brett James belts it out of there, sliding in Robbie Neal, more experience. He'll go to the line. Gallagher makes sure, just soccers it another 20 metres forward.
Once again, the Norwood experienced players heavily involved there again. They're going to need to stand up. We just need some North Adelaide players. The Winters who started this quarter really well. Bamford plays like that to stand up for the Roosters.
Saw Gatto getting collected by Clements. Ball in on the far side of the ground. At the back, Campbell. Toe poke 20, 30 metres from goal. Dangerous area. Matt Kintee picked it up. Just went up in the air. Zorzi got it out eventually. Got one high eventually and will take a free kick. No doubt about that one. Brett Zorzi, an accountant and he captain and two-time best and fairest winner at the Northern Bull Ants. Well, all afternoon he's just done that, just belted the ball every opportunity. Bassett dropped the mark. North Adelaide has possession. There was a kick in the back, umpire, or rather a free for in the back. The umpire won't play advantage and the ball will come back, and Gallagher, as you can see, remonstrating, but the umpire's made his decision, James. Not much you can do about it. Krieg will take the free kick. Chance to draw breath, North Adelaide. They need a result to grab the double chance in the finals, which start next week.
Ivans, the kick. Clements knocked it down, looking for James. Bamford off the ground. Pfeiffer, the young man, somehow got rid of it. In goes Wise. No free kick. I thought Clements might have got one there. Nitschke can't go with it. Gill just pinches it out of there. The mercurial one didn't go 15. Big contest. Nitschke caught with a footy. No free kick. Umpires, good umpiring. Bamford copped one on the ear. Claims a free kick, but won't get one. 7 minutes gone. 7 points the difference. North Adelaide need to win to get a double chance in the finals.
Just need a clean possession out of here, North Adelaide. Look, clear an area out you might be able to hit it into and run towards goals and see if you can get something clean.
Trying conditions for the players. They've struggled all day with this. Jeffries ridden into the ground by Vassell. No free kick. Umpires have put the whistle away for the moment. Nicholas somehow just squeezed the ball out. Now Krieg can stop prop and short pass, not good. Mopped up. Nitschke off the side of the boot. Coulter desperately wanted Ebert. Nitschke in again. Ball to be won. Bassett with strength. It's tough out there. No one giving an inch. Norwood want to finish the season off on a high. North Adelaide, well, they will slip to fourth if they get beaten today. Port Adelaide will take the double chance.
Got to ask a question. The Roosters, have they got more to play for than Norwood? I suspect it is, yes. Got to really tough this out and really mentally tough it out. Create some opportunities. At the moment, it's just all a hard slog.
Well, Dale Lewis has taken this red leg outfit from Wooden Spooners last year to early in the season. Everyone thought, well, Wooden Spoon again, but they are playing with some passion and they've got nothing to play for. North Adelaide, everything to play for. Ball just booted off the ground. A foot race. Campbell tried to go off the ground again. Pack develops at the back. Gillam out to Bamford. Bamford just threw it on the boot. Wise, who's been outstanding today in the wet conditions. James couldn't take it with him. Uses Zorzi. Zorzi off a step. Ivans not infringed. Off the ground. Here's an opportunity for Bamford if he can get away from Gallagher. Handball was good to White. White just threw it on the boot. A real tumbler. No one can take it. Zorzi in there. Krieg taken to ground. Nitschke. Good tackle by Wise. Umpire said play on. Ball slippery, caught underneath. We'll have a ball up, 9 gone. Still 7 points the difference in favour of the Redlegs.
The game is starting to really favour the Redlegs now. You can see how difficult it is to score. 7 points in front. North are going to have to score twice to actually even draw the game, or if not win the game. So it's going to be difficult from here.
Numbers forward of the ball for Norwood. Robbie Neal just belts it long. Foot race now. Just waiting as we see North Adelaide player just in the box there. Nye has got some problems with his shoulder. Ball farmed out again. It's just those possessions that become clean are really, really important. Carslake can pick it up. Coulter did brilliantly. Now just tries to clear it to the far side. The reason is Bamford's got a bit of space, can use the hands. He does, and misses. Now it's come back to Campbell. Short pass, effective. Bartamucci won't make the distance, you'd think. So he plays on, and he gets the pass up to Borlace. Borlace will line up. He might make the distance. He's 30 metres out. He goes short to Gallagher, and Gallagher is still about the same distance, but straight in front. And this is a big problem. Maybe the 8 coaches are talking to each other. Can we call it off now? I don't think so. Jarman, if that indeed was the question, was hung up on by Lewis as we watch Nye coming off the ground with that shoulder problem. Didn't notice how it happened, Sodas, did you?
No, I think that AC joint's going to be a huge problem for the young man. He's had a good start to his career so far. Game number 4. This not good before the finals, compounded with the fact that there are injury problems at North.
And Gallagher from 25 metres kicks a goal that could well win this match for the Redlegs.
Certainly gone a long way towards it. Under pressure, generally players go back to their instincts. And unfortunately there for North Adelaide, Scott Bamford went back to his instincts to handball. And here's the instinct here where you see Nye get injured. Borlace, and there's a sort of a knee, pretty innocuous really. You can see him grab that right shoulder. Bamford, his instinct is to handball. Just turn the ball over in the middle. All of a sudden, Norwood get it back, kick it. What can almost be teamed as a match-winning goal and a match-winning lead at present.
Well, the biggest margin's been 14 points. That was by Norwood at the 20-minute mark of the second term. Norwood lead by 13 now. Hughes off the ground. Bamford desperate to make up for that mistake a few moments ago. He's tackled. Gill threw it on the boot. Desperation stakes for North. Clements can't take the mark. Didn't hold on to it long enough. Bassett couldn't hold it. Delvins at the bottom of that. Bassett over the top. The experienced one, the former Port Adelaide Power and Western Bulldogs player number 31. There's Ryan Nye with some treatment. Maybe it's just a knock. Maybe it's just sort of slipped in, slipped back out again. Slipped out and back in again, I should say. James mopping up at the back. Danitsky, long kick. Bartamucci pushed. No free kick. Leavitt was there. Chance for Gatto. Gatto will pump it long. Goes with a spiral. Who can take a mark? No one. McEntee went up. Norwood defence working overtime. Brett James. How do you get rid of that? It's slippery. Laddams went in hard. Zorzi got it to Brett James. Gee, they've been good, Zorzi and James, this afternoon. Hughes has got a bit of space. In a bit of space, but the ball trickles out of bounds. 13 points the difference. 13-minute mark. And Dale Lewis on the phone. He knows it's important to finish the season on a high. Some good recruiting next year. They could be in with a shake of the 5 next year.
Well, they give them still some momentum going into pre-season. They're confident. They finish the game on a high. You lose today, your players are down. They don't feel like coming to pre-season. Just gives them some real impetus as they into the next season.
Little toe poke forward by Krieg. Still they work hard. Nitschke comes clear for Norwood. Goes for the line on this side. It won't get there. Gatto will pick it up. Gallagher will challenge him. Will he get a Shepherd? No. Knocks it through his feet. Gallagher was good. Delvins came in and tackled him. Umpire said that's okay. And probably, well, in fact, I think it was a good decision on a day like today. Andrew Jarman in front of us just tossing the phone. Not happy with that decision by Gatto. Or at least the teamwork, maybe.
I think he was after the free kick to Delvins for just holding on to it underneath James Gallagher.
Inside 50 since half-time. North 24, Norwood 11, but North have only scored 1 goal to Norwood's 2.
Let's hope that Andrew Jarman didn't have to use that phone again today, because it's hanging over the edge. He might have given it away, but look, they just need to provide something here. Look, he's got to try something. Maybe a Josh Coulter push forward, a long kicking type of target, that maybe if he gets a kick inside 40 metres, he can actually have a crack at it. But to the umpires, we get a look at there, that's just Nye in his arm. He's just no chance of coming back on. Umpires have been really consistent with holding the ball today. They've umpired really well given the conditions.
And the conditions are making it terribly difficult to score. 13 points to margin. Here's Campbell breaking from the pack. They're still alive.
Probably haven't seen enough of that from Matty Campbell. Get no reaction there from Andrew Jarman. He realised there's still plenty of work to do. Ball just sneaks out the back, and Matty Campbell, just that explosive pace, just breaks it open. Kicks from 20 metres, by no means over the line in these type of conditions. Finishes off, just revives North Adelaide's opportunity to snatch a top 3 spot.
James McEntee off the ground, Daniel Wakeland back in the ruck.
What would you do if you were Jars? Say, kick it to Campbell. He got 3 in the last quarter last week.
Well, you'd almost get to the stage where you push everyone else up the ground and maybe leave him one out in the square and get it down there quickly to him.
Here they go again. North Adelaide with everything to play for. Wintle, McEntee over the back. Delvins has got to go. Pfeiffer's first there. Magnificent pick up by the young man. And his kick found the line. That is outstanding. And if any AFL talent scout is watching that, they'll be salivating at the skills of this young man. Have a look at this.
That's just a really old head on young shoulders there. Realised he was under pressure. Get the ball out of bounds. Chew some time up.
Hawthorn's got a priority pick. Go for young Pfeiffer. He's not a bad player. Knocked down, taken by Laddams. Kicked off the ground. Delvins has tried hard. Can't get the handle. It's a bar of soap. Look at the courage by Delvins. They know, these North Adelaide players, that it's on the line. They need to produce something in the next 10 minutes of football. And the phone's back in order, and Jars is on it. They've restored order.
Just amazing what a goal gets you back interested in the game.
Yeah, didn't like it just a moment ago. A couple of decisions. Neil desperate to get it to ball ace. White's there. This is Brett White on hands and knees. Looks for the big man in Wakeland. It's a long way from the top of his shoulders to the ground. Here's Ivans to Ebert, who's ran out of ground. And it'll be thrown back in. Let's have a look. Is this a throw? Ooh, pretty close. Technically, a throw. But boy, oh boy, it's a slippery football. Boundary throw in. Someone's going to have to go off the ground. It's Krieg. Oh, Jeffries couldn't quite hang on to it. Could have been critical. Carslake overran it. That centre of the ground is extremely muddy. Ebert. Jeffries just with a tackle. Umpire cuts us some slack. And he'll call for a ball up. Time ticking away for the Roosters. They need to score another 2 times to win this game.
Certainly do. Look, just rather, if I was Dale Lewis, push some numbers around the footy, make it a real contest, one-on-one all the way around the ground, especially at contest. Very hard to get a clean getaway.
North Adelaide with a clean possession. Wise, he's in the van. Campbell breaks. Wise goes over the top to Gill. He's got to find some space to get a kick. He gets it away. Chance for Campbell down there forward. And he does almost brilliantly. Ball taken away from him. Knocked out of bounds, not quite. James has got it for Norwood. James clears the area as best he can. Gill with the 3 juggles and then finally takes it. He's almost chased down. This is typical Nick Gill. Up forward it goes. No mark to Gatto diving across the top. Finally Norwood again an opportunity to clear it. They do their best. It's awfully difficult, as we know, in these wet conditions. Still it goes on and on and on, and finally we'll get a ball up. I was about to say in the shadows of the scoreboard, but there's no shadows today. Dale Lewis, he looks relatively calm. Why not, I suppose? He does have a 7-point lead. Ball ace, heads for the line. Umpire says that's okay. I don't think Ball Ace was doing anything else except running to the line.
And of course, he's not the coach with the top 3 on the line, is he? His season ends tonight. It's out of his control now.
Average length of the quarter so far is 25 3/4, which is just about 7 minutes to go.
We've travelled 18 at the moment. Bassett, trapped, hacked, couldn't get the kick out. Still it's trapped. Still they go at it. Robbie Neal just tapped it wide. They'll go for the line or they'll go for the ball up. You'd think Norwood would be happy with that. They finally spring a possession. Down towards centre wing it goes. Patfull gets it to ground. Coulter comes in. Still they go forward. Bartamucci off the ground. Ebert and Bartamucci have had a great race this afternoon. Bartamucci with the tackle. Krieg was good. Bamford put it on the foot, but not before it was over the boundary line, or is it a free kick? It'll be a free kick. So they'll load up again, North Adelaide. 7 points they trail by. They need a win to grab the double chance.
Krieg from half-back just kicks to a contest. No one can take it. They need someone strong around the ball, and they get Zorzi. Zorzi's kick into the centre of the ground. Gallagher just with the tackle. A lot of players. Ivans, Daniel Ebert in there. They need some strong bodies, North Adelaide. And the umpire comes in and balls it up. I cannot believe that Stephen Bailey's still off the ground for Norwood. Nothing wrong with him. He's been running up and down the boundary. He's still off.
Just with his nous, and just you can see he's got footy smarts in the amount of footy he's played. But you just got to wonder about, say, Borlase has played on the footy all day. You can see him in the background there with his hands on his knees. Probably looks spent. Maybe some fresh legs just to finish it off.
This is Sandery for the Redlegs. They push forward, another score, another goal here for Norwood. Would sew it all up. Bartamucci off the ground. Ebert with desperation. Bartamucci, ditto. Taken by Ivans to Gatto. They open it up to the wing. Wise, who's been terrific for them. Kick around the body. Campbell and Clements. Clements knocked it away. Good play. Hands and knees, Jeffrey. Falls over the back to Vassell. Vassell, oh, round the neck. Caught one too high, Brad Vassell. Oh, umpiring decisions critical in this last 5 or 6 minutes. As Ian Mulgreed said, the average quarter has gone around about 25 and a half. We've ticked into 21. North Adelaide need the next goal to be any chance. Borlase can't take the mark. It's close. Carslake's there. Desperation by Krieg. Ball out of bounds. No. Kept in play. Players desperate. A ball up. Time ticking away for the Roosters, and also ticking away the opportunity for the double chance.
Need to take a risk, need to run forward now. Wakeland needs to belt the ball forward and run forward. Try to make something happen at the moment. It's a stalemate. Norwood are going to win this game if it continues along the same trend. Need to make something happen. Bring the ball over the back. Take a risk. Got to do something to change the way this momentum of this game's going.
They've got to keep it in play. They've got to make the most of it. Booted off the ground by Ebert. Coming in was Wise. No free kick, yes. A free kick will go to Krieg. The Roosters have got a free. Their fans are happy. They'll push it forward. Matthew Krieg, the former Bulldog. He will kick it long. He'll kick it as far as he can. The problem is he went a drop punt, not a torpedo. And Robbie Neal just got back and took a relieving mark. And Andrew Rogers, you were pointing, he probably should have gone somewhere else.
Oh, you just need, I mean, the central corridor is thing, but the drop punt is the one that makes it drop short. So just the wiser heads of Norwood getting control of this footy.
Pfeiffer at the front. Gatto took it down the line towards Campbell and knock it out. Bassett wanted the line, deliberately so. Umpire Tony Day said that's all right. Experience there from Scott Bassett.
Need the centre corridor. The Roosters got to bring it through the middle. They've got to work this one over the back. Try to run someone into space. Up and down the line isn't going to win it for him.
They had extra numbers. Coulter takes it on the left foot, just belts it as best he can. It'll get over the back. Laddams is there. Can he get a boot on it? James takes it to the line. Laddams off the ground. Sandery comes in, taken in a tackle. Was that holding the ball? Play on still. Norwood will get away with it, and they'll clear it to the far side of the ground. And if that's not deliberate, you won't see one today. Oh, the umpire says that's fair enough. He's kicked out there by Nitschke.
It was important then, because he could have quite easily rushed the point. Would have been a one goal, would have been a draw, enough for North Adelaide to make the top three. It's an important save there by Luke Nitschke.
Hill will come from the back. Kicks it off the ground. Surprised we haven't seen more of that this afternoon.
First one.
That was the first one that we've seen for the kicking in danger. And the experience of Robbie Neal, and given a 25-metre penalty or advantage for a bit of lip coming in there, probably from Gill. So Neal, a very, very experienced campaigner, taking his time. This side of the ground, he's got a couple of players loose. He takes the safety of the far side, just loads it up, thumps it high and long. No mark. Ivans at the front for North Adelaide. They can't spring it away. Desperately need a break now. And it's getting a little bit much for Andrew Jarman. shut the book. That's about all I can do. 24.5 minutes into this game. If they can just snag a goal, they're a chance. Because we look at those centre breaks, 11 centre breaks to 2 in favour of North Adelaide. The most accurate side in the competition across 22 rounds against the least accurate side in the competition in Norwood. They'll need some accuracy and precision now if they're going to grab the double chance. North Adelaide, ball trapped in there again. This suits the Redlegs, don't worry about that. Up it goes, and that time it looked to me like a block, but instead it'll go against Wakeland, and Nicholas will pick up the free kick in the centre of the ground, and that's all she wrote. Celebrate, Port Adelaide fans. They've grabbed the double chance, and the Roosters have missed out. And the final margin was 7 points. And that's a big, big disappointment for the Roosters. And Mark Jeffries having a word to the umpires. The North Adelaide player, as you can see, more than a little disappointed at the performance this afternoon, but I'd suggest you don't blame the umpires. In conditions like that, it's awfully difficult. Norwood were too good. 5-10-40 Norwood. North Adelaide 4-9-33.
Yes, and a contrast in emotions out here. You can see Norwood very happy with the way they finished off their season. Certainly the second half of the year they were great. North Adelaide very mixed. Mark Soderson down there very much with a happy Troy Clements.
Thanks, Andrew. Now, Clemo, I know you love to get down and dirty out in the field. These conditions just perfect for you.
Fantastic, yeah. No, I love it in hard and tough mud, as you know, and the boys really adapted to the conditions well today. As you know, looking out on the park, it was most of it was underwater, but the boys were fantastic, really were.
Pretty big job on the end for you there, having to look after the elusive Matty Campbell.
Yeah, he got away early in the first quarter, and Louis, I guess, even in the later parts of my career, I've been given jobs to look after some of the shorter, faster forwards, and he's an elusive player and pretty handy, so it was a hard job, but it made it a bit easier in the wet.
Well, you handled him well, and a real significant improvement in the Redlegs in the second half of the year under Dale Lewis.
I think probably our middle part of the year was the best when we went 7 of 10 games where we had the wins. We finished off pretty ordinary. I think we only won 2 of the last 5, but it's encouraging what we've got, and looking forward to next year. The boys will be pumped after this win, and hopefully the boys up through the pre-season. The boys will come out rearing to go next year.
After 209 games, Clem, are you going on next year?
Oh, I have to sit down with the wife and have a yarn. You know what it's like, mate, when you get in towards the end of it, it's umming and ahhing, but